our chairperson Yojana Rawat ma'am to formally welcome our guest of honor, Mr. Nuruddin Farah.
Star achievers, you must thank your heavenly stars that amongst us is a literary star, Shri Nuruddin Farah, who has very kindly consented to present today's convocation address. But before I formally and respectfully invite him to present his address, am I allowed to read a few lines about you, sir? Oh, I'm humbled, but at the same time honored. I'm awestruck, at the same time ecstatic. I'm failing in selecting the right words for a man who has always played and used words throughout his life. Shri Nuruddin Farah, the world knows Somalia more as his country of origin, and Somalia cannot have a better brand ambassador than him. Today, much awarded, leading novelist, essayist, and a professor, conferred with Kurt Tucholsky Prize, Neustadt International Prize, which is second to Nobel Prize, and Premio Cavour Set Mellow Literary Festival Prize. Shri Nuruddin Farah is really a much awarded literary star. He took to an early writing. His first novella, Why Die So Soon? He was soon in starting this, Why Die So Soon? Came when he was just 20 years. Struggles of his life and strife of his land found him growing in a multilingual environment and getting multicultural exposures. From 1966 to 1970, that's the time where we can definitely feel proud of the fact that he was very much in Chandigarh, pursuing his degree in very much at Panjab University. Subsequently, he studied at London University, Essex University. In 1990, he moved to Berlin, and after 6 years, he revisited his own country after that 20 years of exile. All these years, his country lived through him, and he lived through his country. His strong narrative style, rich imagination, diverse cultural exposures, checkered influences, bold expressions made him an important voice in post-colonial modernism. For youngsters like you, he says, I quote, I want every child born anywhere to delight in what life offers, unquote. His writings include fiction, plays, and non-fiction. People hardly write one trilogy. He has written a trilogy of trilogy. In year 2000, he wrote his first non-fiction, Yesterday, Tomorrow, Voices from the Somalia Diaspora. Yesterday and tomorrow. But today, he is here with us, probably on a tribute journey to his alma mater, Panjab University. The same alma mater, represented through USOL, wishes to pay a tribute back. May I request one and all to please stand and give a standing ovation to Mr. Nuruddin Farah. Thank you. May I now invite Shri Nuruddin Farah to deliver his convocation address.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I will approach the topic at hand from the perspective of a Somali born in Somalia and into the oral tradition. Then I will take the liberty to seek out the wisdom of a fabulist named Sheikh Harir in Somali, the teller of silken tales. A Somali fable has it that while the wordsmith and magician is on a soul-searching journey, Sheikh Harir, the teller of tales, comes to a road with several forks. Uncertain as to which fork in the road to follow, he lights upon a most original idea after giving the matter serious thought. He rolls up the other forks in the road into a very giant road, and he wears it like a belt, as a conjurer might wear a snake around his neck. He ventures forth, encouraged by the creative courage that is of a piece with his commitment to going beyond the world known to his equals. He is eager to meet the people residing in other lands that are foreign to him in order to explore the unexplored and get to know the unknowable and afraid. He walks and walks and walks, bent on getting to the end of that road, which is stretching before him. Whenever he comes to the end of one fork of the road, he unfolds the next giant fork of the road to achieve his aim. He is motivated in part by the huge need to come to terms with the many-sidedness of his ambition, making him end up where he started, in the land of his creative imagination. He finds it axiomatic to conclude that all journeys start before the traveler has become aware of it. All journeys, in other words, begin in the mind. I find this fable fascinating in its potential because I believe that young people like yourselves are fabulists too, like a golden silk spider boasting of a larger than usual body length. They too, the young, also produce an elegance of a universal wearable, similar to the spider's ceaselessly dream into the future. They imagine what it felt like traveling the Silk Route, linking the world of the Orient to the world of the Occident, and Africa too. The route on which goods and ideas were ferried back and forth between many great civilizations. That those amongst you, students, are on the journey and you have taken the right forks in the road. After all, you as students have made your choices, in each of which you could have pursued different journeys or followed dissimilar routes, with every fork in the road likely to lead you to a different destination. Today, as graduates, this is the first of many of your ports of call as you make of your life what you will, a life by which you have done well so far. Now you have come to another fork in the road, where after all the celebrations, you will look at your future, stare in its eyeball to eyeball, and then you interrogate it. Dare I say what you wish to do with your life from today on? Dare I inquire how you think you have fared so far in your lives? In what direction will you move now that you have graduated? Where do you want your journey to take you? And which fork of the road will you take? I doubt I need to tell you that anyone who journeys will maintain the bright ardor burning in the eyes, pursuing a vision in conformity with one's ideals. A word of congratulation is in order, because you have earned it. Measure it how you will, but you have done a great deal to get to where you are today. Yours has been a long, tedious journey. Starting with nursery school, perhaps, through a school system which many of you may not have found inspiring enough. Then through university. And we know what it is like. Assignments to be submitted in due dates, a calendar of academic commitments to meet, exams to sit. You are here today to harvest what you have sown, reap the benefits of the hard work you have put in. Every step you have taken from your nursery days, as far back as the first day when your finger was in the secure lap of an adult taking you to your play school, you have shown as important a learning as to walk. Because every activity in which the young people participate has something or other to do with learning. Learning about the environment in which one is brought up. Learning about one's own potential and honing it. Now with the help of one's parents, now with that of one's teachers, now with that of one's peers, neighbors, and the larger community. Life has been made easier for you by dint of someone else's hard labor, someone who has made sure there are no comforts lacking, so you can perfect your inborn talents, supplementing it with the acquiring the book-based knowledge, which in and of itself is insufficient until one throws in the experience, that's to say, the acts, the processes which lead one ultimately to one knowing oneself a little more after one has studied oneself. The study of the world is the study of the person living in it, with the life of the person taken as the parameter of our achievements and our failures, young and adult. You dwelled in an in-between time as you gained your education and you worked your way through life's experience until you became an adult in years and in knowledge too. It was to this end that you apprenticed yourselves to those hires at the university for the purpose of teaching you, your tutors, your instructors, and your professors, many of whom who are here have admittedly also learned many things from you. The teachers helped you learn about the world in a more organized way, different to a large degree from the way you were taught the same things at home by your parents. In a manner of speaking, the purpose of learning is to master your way out of crises and into solutions via texts, literary or linguistic appreciations, through the very act of training your rhetorical powers, through writing, reading, and researching. As graduates, and because you have now attained your degrees, this is the first of many stations of life at which you will call familiar. Each demand defining you and your place in society, on occasion assessing how well you've coped each step of the way, from choosing your profession and succeeding in it, putting into practice the things you have learned at school and at university, and charting your own route to professional success. In short, meeting the new challenges that will perforce you will face. There are a series of stations at which you will call, very likely beginning with one in which you are subordinate to someone else, possibly someone senior to you in age and rank, and therefore experience. How you deal with the status of being subordinate to someone not equal in terms of education. How will you deal with being subordinate to someone of a different color of skin? How will you subordinate yourself to someone of a different gender? Someone whom you think is less intelligent than yourself. These will act as markers of your character. And whether you can make claim of belonging to this noble institution, Panjab University, which prides itself in being the lighthouse meant to penetrate the impenetrable entanglements of every villainous act known to humankind. You will come to a series of forks in the road. In fact, it is from the vantage point of being at the first fork of a crossroad that will prove one of the great challenges of your life. But wait a minute. I keep talking about your life, making assumptions, and I keep asking you questions about your life, as though your life is yours to do with it what you please. In all seriousness, however, let me wander aloud and put this question to you. How much of a young person's life is his or hers to do with it what they please, and let the rest be damned? Has it ever occurred to you that your life is as much yours as the bank in which you deposit your paychecks, your savings and pension will have made that bank yours just because you entrust your earnings and all your savings in its vaults? Have you ever considered that you are a mere custodian of your life, and that it belongs to many other persons? In fact, it belongs in part to those who have invested in you, your parents, your guardians, your relations, your peers, your teachers, those of whom you are enamored and to whom you have committed yourself. It belongs to anyone who has invested in your well-being from the instant you opened your lungs at the moment of birth, broke into the groans of a mother moaning out of pain, to the moment when, as a grown-up, you are self-sufficient. And this is the moment when you should remember all the people who have suffered the pain to make you who you are. What of the matrix of our neurosis born out of our uncertainties, considering the labyrinths at hand, for the journey continues. And you continue walking until you reach another cul-de-sac with no more road to negotiate. You may think wrongly that you have done it all now that you have graduated. Happily, but also sadly, you have earned the right to migrating between two stations of your life all at once, namely the reality of a classroom situation replaced by another life station at which you either join the workforce in some capacity or pursue a lifelong ambition to register for another course, another degree at this or another institution. You are at a crossroads, ready to brave the unpredictable nature of the unknown, the untried. There's no need for you to fear, no need to close one of your eyes to enjoy a depth perception. An instant spark of genius tells me that there is a wrong and a right way of looking into a binocular. In one, you hardly see what you want to see. In the other side of the binocular, which is the correct way, you view things in their proper perspective, from whatever distances you choose. A correct binocular vision points one to a life in the imagined land, a land marked out with a continuous filament within the cocoon. The fabled silk route of which I have spoken then beckons yet again, and one journeys forth on your new journey, past many life's crossroads, along an unexamined road leading to an unknown destination, with you not knowing what is in store for you, or where you may end up, or what your life will be like. You are lucky to be where you are today, young and with a degree in your hands, your life of possibilities ahead of you, and so many crossroads waiting for you. And I thank you.